Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Emily, and in today's video I have some of my all-time favorites Holy Grail drugstore makeup in front of me. I am just going to kind of go through each category just about and talk to you guys about my favorite products from the drugstore within that category, like primers, foundations, concealers, things like that. So hopefully this is helpful for you guys and you guys can discover some of these products and realize that these are amazing and that they work for you. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna start with is primers. And these, okay, so this is actually a prepper, a primer, a fixer, and a setter. So these are, I'm actually gonna turn down my brightness a little bit. Yeah, that's a lot better. So this is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Facial Mist. Like I said, it's a primer, it's a makeup setter, and it's also a kind of like you can refresh your face with it. So this is in the shade, or not shade, this is in the scent Rose, and they have a cucumber scent and another scent. I can't remember what the other scent is, but this is amazing. So this basically, you just kind of spray it. Oh, I just sprayed that in my eye. You basically just spray it all over your face, whether you're trying to prime, whether you're setting your face, or whether you just want a refreshment. And this doesn't really mess up the finish of your foundation. So say that you have a matte foundation, it's not really going to make it dewy or look oily or anything like that. It's going to keep your foundation matte. As like a primer spray, I would say this works really, really well in place of a primer. I sometimes like to go in with a primer and this, but sometimes I don't, and I just use this, and I find my makeup stays on for a really long time, and it's really just because I've used this priming spray. So yeah, this is really, really good and cheap, and you don't really get like too much product. I've actually gone through this in about like maybe a month, which isn't too bad, but the bottle is pretty small, but it is really cheap, so that's a good thing, and I would totally recommend this. And like I said, they have 3 other scents. The next thing for primer, this is the Magic Lumi by L'Oreal. I've had this one for a very long time. As you can see, the name is starting to rub off, but this one I love so much. It is very, very hydrating on the skin. It kind of comes out like a pearly kind of finish. I don't know if you can actually tell, but it kind of has like a pearlescent finish when you rub it on the skin. It really leaves like that dewy glow to your face, and perfect for if you want to glow underneath your foundation. This is really going to do the trick. I just applied it right there, and it just has like this really pretty pearlescent finish to it, and it doesn't make you look overly dewy, but just kind of looks really nice in the places that are supposed to be highlighted, like the top of your cheekbones or a little bit on your forehead or something. This one is really, really good. So yeah, this one is by L'Oreal, and it is the Magic Lumi. The next thing I have, and one of the last things I have for primers, this is relatively new to my collection. This is the Revlon Rose Glow Hydrating and Illuminating Primer. This I love so much. It is, looks pink actually when you see it in the bottle, but it kind of has like that dropper consistency, or that, not consistency, but it kind of has like that dropper effect where you can kind of just drop it into your hand, the desired amount that you want. And it does have a little bit of a tint of like a pink, but I feel like that's very like brightening on the skin. This is the most hydrating primer drugstore wise that I own. It is seriously so great if you have dry skin, or you know, you get dry patches on your face or something. This one, amazing, and it's very illuminating underneath your makeup and really, really, really good. Okay, so one other thing, this isn't really a primer, but it's what I like to apply if I'm kind of going for a more pore filling primer or base on the skin. I will like to use this to highlight like the top of my cheekbones before I go in with foundation, or sometimes I even mix in this product with my foundation, and it gives the most beautiful glow ever. It is the True Match Lumi Glotion, a natural glow enhancer, and it does just what it says. It is very glowy. Not overly glowy though, it just looks just right, and yeah, I just kind of mixed it in with my foundation. And if you're looking for a more dewier finish, I definitely recommend this product to kind of mix in with your foundation, or even on targeted areas, just applying it to where you want that glow. Moving on to foundation, I'm going to moving on to foundation, I'm going to show you a couple that I actually own and have been loving. This one, to start off, is the Maybelline 24-hour foundation. I love the packaging on this. First of all, it's so sleek, and I love just like this huge white cap. Of course, I get it dirty from like foundation fingerprints and whatnot, and then it just says like 24 hours and like pink writing, which I think is really pretty. Very sleek bottle, but this is just like a full coverage matte foundation. The finish is beautiful. If you are, it's not like too drying or anything like that. I feel like it is like a soft, natural kind of matte. Nothing that's gonna make you look dull or anything cakey with the coverage or anything like that. If you blend this out with a damp beauty sponge, then you can kind of make the finish a little bit less matte and more like a satiny kind of matte, which is not, of course, going to be as matte, but yeah, so just kind of, if you don't want as matte of a finish, then just use a damp beauty sponge to bounce it into your skin, and you're going to get like that glowier kind of matte, like a satin. So I love this foundation because of the coverage that it gives, and whenever I want my skin to just look like super, like no really any shine to it or anything, I will use a matte foundation, but then later on I might go in with like a dewier setting spray, and it just looks beautiful. So I love this foundation. The next foundation that I have is a one by Covergirl. It is the Vitalist Healthy Elixir Foundation with vitamins, and it also has an SPF of 20. And this foundation is really nice. It has really good coverage. It's not really matte. It's more of a natural finish to me, but if you do blend it out with a sponge, you're gonna get more of a dewier finish. It does have a pump, and the other one does have a pump too, by the way, which I think is really a lot easier to apply. You can kind of just pump it on your face or pump it on whatever you're going to be using, the tool that you're going to be using, which I think is a lot better than having like a pour for it. And you don't waste as much product. This really good coverage, just like a kind of natural finish, really nice, like doesn't get weird in like around my nose area or anywhere else where I might get cakiness. It doesn't really do that. Covers really well too, and I love this foundation. All right, so that's it for the foundations. I'm gonna move on to concealer because I'm just kind of going in the order that I would normally do my makeup in. So the first one, I have such a hard time choosing which one I like more because these two concealers are pretty much like my favorite of all time, even high end. So this is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer. Makeup Revolution is a brand that expanded, that started off like smaller. I remember buying like their highlighters, and they had a little small spot in Ulta where they didn't have that many products, but now they have like a whole section for their products, and they have tons of palettes, two types of foundations with a ton of colors to choose from. They have other unique products too, like they have primers and setting sprays, and so they've really grown as a brand. But this, I love their formula in this concealer, and they also made a foundation that kind of was like the sister to it. And so yeah, this is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define. When I put this underneath my eyes, I get such good coverage. It is a huge doe foot applicator, which covers quickly, covers larger areas quickly. And I get like the smoothest look underneath my eyes if I set it with like a nice powder. It's very full coverage, not drying really. I don't really find it drying, but I don't have dry under eyes. But maybe I would go in with like an eye cream or something just because of how full coverage this is. You don't really want it caking up or setting weird underneath the eyes, but I don't have that problem at all with this concealer. But maybe because of how full coverage it is, you might want to try that if you do have dry under eyes. But I just get like the smoothest finish with this concealer, and I love it so much. The next concealer that I have is, I can't even decide, like that concealer and this concealer is like my favorite concealer of all time, and this is the ColourPop. Actually the writing rubs all the way off, but it is, I think, called their No Filter concealer, and mine is in the shade Beige 25. I didn't really tell you the rest of the shades for this, but if you guys are wondering, just comment down below and I will answer them. So this one, as you can tell, I have loved. I have been through this concealer almost all the way through, and same thing with the Makeup Revolution. It is so smoothing underneath my eyes. This one is so lightweight as well. It kind of just feels like you're putting like silky feathers underneath your eyes. I don't know, it kind of does feel like that to me. It's so like silky and smooth and lightweight, but it's also very full coverage at the same time. This is just a really, really good concealer. Okay, so that's going to be it for the concealers, and then moving on to powders. I'm actually just going to follow up with the ColourPop No Filter Setting Powder. Mine is in the shade Translucent, and they do have multiple shades of this setting powder. It is a loose setting powder, so it has like a little sifter right there, and I use this with either a dry or a damp beauty sponge, and I'll just kind of dip it into the powder after I've poured it on the lid, and then I will just kind of bake underneath my eyes with it, and I will just leave it there for either a long time, or I'll just kind of press all the powder in right away. And this is not drying. It doesn't do any weird cakiness with your lines underneath your eyes or anything like that. Very beautiful finish. It is very finely milled along with the rest of these loose powders that I'm going to be showing you, and really nice. It's very affordable. ColourPop is a very affordable brand, so when I say drugstore, I also mean affordable brands as well when I talk about my favorite makeup from them. So this I would highly recommend checking out. Like I said, smooth finish and really great finish. The next powder that I have to show you is the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder. This one just does the same thing. It is very, smoothing underneath the eyes. I also like to set the rest of my face with this because, as you can see, it says that it's a light, the shade is light, but I find it to be kind of medium. For me in the wintertime, it's really not that light for my skin to be applying it underneath my eyes when I'm at my palest. They do have another shade below this one that's called Fair, and I feel like I would have to get that one to apply it year-round underneath my eyes, because sometimes if I apply like a darker powder that isn't lighter than my skin tone underneath my eyes, I will have like a line of darker colored powder and then my foundation. So sometimes I'm not able to use this, but right now I think I'm at a pretty good color to use this, and it's really nice coverage and really smoothing underneath the eyes. The last powder I have to show you, this is just one that I've kind of hit pan on very quickly. I don't know why. I guess I was just using a lot of it, but this is a pressed powder, and this is the CoverGirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir. This powder, believe it or not, is very, very hydrating. I don't know what it is, but it just doesn't leave my skin with like a dry look, or it doesn't leave it with like a grayish tone. It's really nice, and yeah, like I said, kind of like silky and hydrating. When you do put your finger in it, you can feel like the silkiness of it. Great coverage too. I could actually use this for like maybe in place of my foundation if I wanted to use a powder. I feel like it would cover like any discoloration I have on my face pretty well. All right, next I'm gonna go into blush, and I have a few here to show you. One of them is actually the Burt's Bees blush. These are literally so good. They're kind of hidden in the drugstore. I don't think that they actually have them at the drugstore. I'm not exactly sure. I've never seen Burt's Bees at the drugstore, but I know that they have them in like grocery stores. Like a grocery store near me carries Burt's Bees. I think Target does as well. And these blushes are no joke. They are seriously like pigmented as any other high-end blush. This one that I have right here is Bare Peach, and it is just like a classic kind of peachy tone. They are pretty powdery, which is the only downside. I would say there's the color right there of Bare Peach. They are pretty powdery, so kind of like when I dip my brush in it, you can, you get a lot of fallout. And then this is up here, this is Toasted Cinnamon, this one right here. And yeah, I have Bare Peach and Toasted Cinnamon. I love the names of them. They're really cute. And I have been using like Burt's Bees chapstick for like when I was a teenager, like a young teenager. And it's so cool to me that they have come out with like some makeup products. Like I know they have foundation, and yeah, now they have blush and like lip products. So yeah, these are a winner in my book. The next blush I have to show you is by Milani, and it is the color Tea Rose, and it is the Powder Rose Petal Blushes. This color in particular is just the softest pink. It's kind of like a rosy pink on the cheeks. It is so beautiful if you have fair skin. When I was at my Palace this past winter, this looked beautiful. I was using a lighter shade of foundation, and then I just kind of lightly dusted this on the apples of my cheeks, and it just looked like I was glowing from within. It was very pretty. Yeah, there's the color right there. And yeah, I would describe this as like a soft, like rosy kind of maybe mauve-y, peachy kind of blush. It's really pretty, and I love the package, like the design on the actual product. I think that's really cute. Next for bronzers, I have two bronzers here to show you, and then I have highlighters, eyeshadow palettes, and lip products, and a couple other things. But this is the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Bronze. I actually just purchased this, and I couldn't stop using it. It is seriously so pretty. It's a really big pan size, and the packaging is really cute. It's a really big pan size, and when you first get it, you kind of see that there is shimmer at the top of this bronzer. So if you're someone who doesn't really like shimmer, I would actually recommend kind of taking like some tweezers or like a tool to shave off a little bit of the bronzer, because underneath it, it doesn't have as much shimmer. None that is recognizable on the face, at least. Even with the top layer being gold shimmer, I didn't really recognize any of the shimmer transferring onto my face. But this still, at the same time, it's a very glowy bronzer. As you can see, like there is the glow. I mean, just by turning this pan, it's really pretty. Very silky and smooth and easy to blend. The next bronzer I have right here is another very, very glowy bronzer, and it's very popular here on YouTube. It is by Milani, the same with that blush, and this is the Soleil Baked Bronzer in the shade Soleil. Gorgeous, warm tone, very glowy, perfect for the summer months if you want that glowy kind of look, and especially if you're a little bit fairer. I feel like this bronzer would really work for you as well, because you can kind of apply a light layer and it would look beautiful, but you can also build it up to make it more intense. This one does have more shimmer than the L'Oreal bronzer, and a lot of gold shimmer. I mean, there's just pieces in this where you can just see pure gold shimmer. So if you're somebody who doesn't like shimmer in their bronzer, you're probably not gonna like this, but I love this for a all over glow. All right, next, that's it for the bronzers. I'm gonna move on to highlighters. I have 3 here by ColourPop. These are the Super Shock Cheeks. The formula of this for highlighters is just out of this world. It is seriously so smooth. It is just like their Super Shock highlighters, or eyeshadows, which is just like that cushiony, velvet, creamy, but powdery kind of finish to it. When you push your finger in it, it kind of leaves that indentation, which I think is perfect for highlighters and eyeshadows because it gives the most pigmentation when you apply it either with your finger or a brush. This shade in particular is called Wisp, and it is the perfect kind of cool toned champagne kind of color, and I did a little bit of a swatch of it right here, and these are really pigmented, like I said. Love the formula. My favorite out of the 3 that I own is Flexitarian, and I'm actually wearing that one on my cheekbones right now. And I just applied it with a highlighter brush, and it turned out really beautiful. This is like the same, this is more of like a lighter, icier champagne color than Wisp, and the pigmentation on this one is my favorite out of all the 3 that I have, or out of the other 2 that I have. This one really is like those blinding highlights. And then this one that I have is called Lunch Money, and this one is more of, again, like that champagne kind of color. These are all pretty much the same color, but I just really like them a lot, so I wanted to get these colors. Yeah, love that. All right, and then next I'm gonna go through eyeshadow palettes, and I'll just kind of pick from the pile. This first one is the Morphe one. Morphe is a very affordable brand sold at Ulta. This is one of the palettes I've wanted for a while. This is, I'm not exactly sure. I think it's this is the 9B Bronze Babe palette. This is very much smaller than their bigger palettes that come with a lot more shadows. But basically, this is what this one looks like. It has a nice mirror right here. And comes with like these really pretty kind of neutral shade brown eyeshadows. So it has like some deeper ones to deepen up the crease. It has some more bronzier ones, I guess, and then it has a few shimmers in there as well. When I use an eyeshadow palette, I'm really not trying to dip and dabble into multiple eyeshadow palettes. I just want to kind of pick up an eyeshadow palette and use just one. So this one you'll see a lot of my palettes have a good range of mattes and maybe less shimmers, because I like to put mattes in the crease, do a few mattes in the crease, and I like to do like one shimmer color on the lid most of the time. This next palette is an all matte palette, and it is the Matte Bar by Maybelline. These are just like my perfect tones right here. Warm tone, burgundy, pink. You get like this nice deep shade. All of these colors are matte. You even have like a highlighting shade. Perfect like palette every day, I guess. Maybe you wouldn't use this every day because they are so kind of warm shades, but I love this. These are my everyday tones. They're very simple, and love this palette. It's very pigmented. The next palette I have is one that I have just recently purchased, and this is the Ooh La La palette by ColourPop. And this is like right up my alley. I love pink toned eyeshadows, like burgundy pinks, things like that. This one's really pretty. It has a ton of matte shades and like I think only 2 shimmers. This color, gorgeous. This is what really stood out. And then this shade right here called Tickled is really, really pretty as well. I'm gonna kind of do a swatch, but there it is right there. Really pretty for an all over shimmer. And then of course it has like those deeper tones to deepen up the look. The next palette I have, ooh, that was loud. The next palette I have is the Dream Street palette by Kathleenlights by ColourPop. I'm not exactly sure if they still sell this palette, but this palette, I love it so much. It's so unique, and I can really do a ton of different looks with this. I love this teal color to kind of do like a spotlight eye, and then they also threw in this shimmer, which is very unique as well. It's kind of like well, let's see if you could tell. It's kind of like an icy, bluey green color, and this for like the edges of the spotlight eye, like either one of these shades. And then that icy blue-green color in the middle is just like really beautiful, and a look that I do quite often whenever I really want to go out with my eye look. And then that's it for the eyeshadow palettes. For a liquid eyeshadow, I actually have one of these that I wanted to show you because these are really pigmented. They don't crease or flake or anything weird. These are the Wet n Wild Mega Last Liquid Catsuit Liquid Eyeshadows. I actually only have this blue color, which is kind of sad because I don't always wear blue eyeshadow, but I'll do a swatch and I'll just show you how beautiful this shade actually is and how pigmented it is as well. So there we have the shade right there. It's really pretty. It kind of has like a shift of green glitter and also purple glitter. Really love this. I can really do a bold look with this shade, but I want to check out if they have any like neutral colors like champagne or bronze or anything like that. I'm not sure if they do. But yeah, this one really nice. I really like these liquid eyeshadows. The next thing that goes along with eyeshadow, this is the Makeup Revolution Cut Crease Canvas. If you guys are familiar with the technique called cut crease, it's basically when you kind of do a bunch of mattes in the crease and really kind of build up different definition in the crease. And then you kind of take either a concealer or this, for example, and you kind of cut out the crease, or cut out the lid, I guess. So you would basically take all of this concealer onto the lid and just kind of shape out where your crease would normally or not be. You can kind of do it above your crease or exactly where your crease is, and then you get more of like a blank canvas to work with the lid, which I think is really pretty. So this is, yeah, the Makeup Revolution Cut Crease Canvas. I found this one day and I was like, I should get that because I don't really have a proper makeup product to use to cut out the crease. I've just been using my concealer, which worked fine, but I tried this and it works really, really well. It doesn't crease or do anything weird. Covers the lid really well, so I really get that blank canvas. And then the last thing, or second to last thing I have to show you guys is lip products. The first are, I have lip glosses from ColourPop. These lip glosses from ColourPop, really good, nice and shiny lip glosses. They're like my go-tos half the time whenever I want a lip gloss. This one is just like a basic nude shade in the shade Fairy Floss. I don't have barely any room to do swatches, but this is that shade right there. It's really, really pretty and shiny. And then I also have this one if I want to do like a 90s kind of grungy look. This is in the shade Fudged. And I'll kind of do a swatch. There is that right there. So yeah, these are pigmented. They're really glossy and I really love them. Next from ColourPop, I love their liquid lipsticks, specifically their Ultra Satins and Ultra Mattes. I really love. These are my favorite shades from them so far, and they kind of do kind of run in the same family. This is the shade Tool, and I love this. I love overdrawing my lips with these, and it really makes my lips look like I'm a baddie. So I love these for that. And yeah, these are like my favorite. I actually got these recommendations off Amanda Ensing, and she has the most beautiful lips all the time. So I have the shade Tool, Beeper, and this is Chilly Chill, or what is it? Chilly Chilly, I think. And I'll kind of show you guys. So the top one is Tool, the middle is Beeper, and then the bottom is Chilly Chilly. Beautiful, grungy lips. I love overlining my lips with these. Like I said, they're very pigmented, not over drying or anything. The next I have is the Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink. The reason that these are on my favorites is because this is the most long-lasting liquid lipstick that I own. whenever I go to take this off at night, I have a hard time taking it off. I use my cellar water on a cotton pad, and I have to scrub and scrub and scrub. Like, I have to sometimes take my nail and dig with the cotton pad just to get this off. I don't know what they put in this, but it's a long lasting. So if you're wearing your makeup for a very long time or going out and drinking drinks and eating food, stick with one of these. These are so good. And yeah, they're called Superstay Matte Ink for a reason. They're pretty matte, but I wouldn't call them very matte. I would call them more like a more natural satin matte. I'll do a swatch of this shade in particular. This is in the shade Driver, and it's just a basic nude. There it is right there, just right here. I don't really want to stick my finger in it. So yeah, love that. And then the same thing with these L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte lipsticks. These ones are matte. They are so beautiful. It's normal to kind of have lines in your lips, of course, but these ones just smooth out your lips so beautifully. This is from the Lay's Chocolates collection. This one in particular smells like chocolate, like hot chocolate powder. Really good. And this, again, stays on your lips for such a long time. Again, I have to go in with the cotton pad and scrub off my lips at night. But I'm not really complaining, because I would love a lipstick to stay on for as long as I want it to. And these really do that. And like I said, this does like smooth out the lines in your lips, makes them look like you got lip injections pretty much. Because when you get lip injections, it kind of takes away all the lines in your lips and makes them look more full. So I love that. And then the last two, these I just threw in because they're good, they do the job well, and they're cheap. These are the Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit liquid lipsticks. Basically, this is in the shade Rebel Rose, which is a mauve. Love that. This is in the shade Nudie Patootie, and this is more like a gray nude. It's very unique, and I love how they chose this shade or formulated this shade. It's a really nice nude. There it is at the top right there. It's pretty hard to see. But yeah, those just basically do the job. They're not over drying or anything like that. They're really good, from the drugstore. And then the last product that I have to show you, I've been filming for a while. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Spray and Scent. This is the best drugstore setting spray I have tried, besides the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. Let me just grab that one. So I forgot to bring it over here, but this is the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. This is just the most beautiful spray on this bottle. It is very fine whenever I spray it, and it does spray continuously on the face, which is really nice, and doesn't mess up or create weird dots on your face from the setting spray, and neither does the Infallible Pro Setting Mist. This one just sets your makeup. It's not going to take away the finish that the makeup gave you. It's just going to basically lock and set in your makeup, which I really love. But I think that is it for... Actually, I do want to show you one more thing. Okay, I keep on saying that's it, but I just want to show you one more thing. And I forgot to include it, but this is pretty new. This is a highlighting palette from ColourPop, and it is the Crush Unused Super Shock Highlighting Palette. This comes with 4 of the Super Shock highlighters that I have showed you. The same formula, and it's just like in a palette. This is Talk and Code, Poker Face, Drop a Pin, and Class Act. So Talk and Code, and then the rest that I said. Beautiful, beautiful highlighters. Like I said, love this formula, and I love how it's in a little palette, so it's just perfect for on the go. But yeah, that's going to conclude this video of my drugstore / affordable holy girl products that I would recommend, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. Comment down below any shades that, like, shade references. I can give you like my shades in the foundations and concealers. If you guys want, just comment down below and let me know. And any other questions that you guys have for me, just comment down below, and I will definitely get back to you. Leave in the comments down below also what your holy girl drugstore favorites are, and I really want to know, because I will definitely probably check them out. I love drugstore makeup, and I like high-end makeup more, but that's just because I'm more of like a packaging kind of girl. And yeah, but I love drugstore makeup. But yeah, I think that's it for this video, and I will just talk to you guys in my next one. Bye!